Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Living Life with Ike. I'm Nadine, aka Ike. And today's 20-minute practice, we're going to focus on some hovering poses. Which that means we're going to work on the abdominals, both the front abdominals and the side abdominals, and into our back. So let's start with just stretching and waking up the body by inhaling up and exhaling, coming down. Walking your hands out, breathing into the hips, walking over to the right. I feel it in my left hip because I have my left foot in front. Walking through center and then over to the left. I always start with this stretch because I love how it feels going from my hip through to my side body and through to my shoulders, right down to my fingertips. And coming back through center and coming up. Now we're going to take the opposite foot and put it in front. We're up on our sit bones. If you want, take the flesh away from your sit bones so you can feel that grounding effect. And then on your inhale, we're extending the spine up. And on your exhale, we're folding forward again and walking those hands out. Your gaze is to the floor. Get some nice deep breaths in here. Now feeling it in my right hip because my right foot is in front. Walking over to the right. And now feeling it in the side body here, up through the shoulders, nice gentle stretch. We're waking up the body. Gazes to the floor. And then walking through center and over to the left. And then coming up. Wonderful. We're just going to give those wrists a little bit of a roll. A lot of our hovering poses we'll be doing like base or a tabletop. So perfect. Now find yourself in your tabletop. Do your quick check. Hips are under knees, shoulders are under wrists, fingers are pointing forward, pressing through our fingertips into our knuckles to save our wrists. So this will take a lot of the weight off. And just as we inhale, move into cat. So really rounding the spine from the top of the spine all the way down to the tailbone. Tailbone's nice and tucked. Chin is to chest. And breathe through this to cow. Belly goes down. Shoulders away from ears. Tailbone is up. Chin is up. Now let's continue with this flow. Inhaling, rounding through the spine, creating space through your scapula. Chin goes to chest, tailbone is tucked. And let's do that one more time. Belly down, tailbone up, chin up, shoulders away from ears. Still preparing our body for our first hover. Let's go into a neutral spine here. Opening up the knees. Big toes are touching, sending those sit bones back towards the heels and walking the hands out here. This is an active child's pose. So we're walking with the fingers. So we're continuing to feel the stretch through the side body into the hips. Just going to take some nice big breaths here. Your gaze is to the mat. And walking back up. Wonderful. Okay, so now we're going to go into our cat-cow, but when we go into cat, we're going to hover. So we're just going up off the mat, maybe 1.5 inches, 2 inches, whatever you're comfortable with. This isn't a big move. So let's inhale and let's go to cow first. So belly down, tailbone up, chin up, pressing through those fingertips and the knuckles. And now into cat. Regular cat. Now press through the top of your feet here and hover. There you go. Pressing through the knuckles and the fingertips, not falling into the shoulders. See the difference here? Hover. Belly's nice and tight and down. And into cow. Belly drops. Tailbone goes up, chin goes up, shoulders away from ears. And into cat. So moving into your cat first. Once you've got your pose, and then hover. Yeah. Really pressing through those fingertips so we're not falling into the shoulders. Good. And let's do that one more time. So back into cow. Belly goes down, tailbone goes up, chin goes up. Not falling in the shoulders. And one more cat hover. So moving into your cat. Creating a space between your shoulder blades. And when you're ready, hover. Belly's nice and tight here, tailbone's tucked. And good. And back into child's pose. This is a regular child's pose here. Wonderful. Finding yourself back in your tabletop. So thread the needle. Normally the arm goes up and the shoulder goes to the mat, and so does the cheek. So we're not going to do that today though. Today we're going to hover that. So the hand goes up and we're going to thread the needle, but we're hovering. Yeah. Belly's nice and tight here. The right arm is a bit bent. And let's come back up. And thread the needle again. Nice and tight with the belly. Belly button's going towards the spine. Tailbone is tucked here. And one more time. Let's come up. And thread the needle and hover. Belly's nice and tight. Breathing into this. Beautiful. And coming back down. And let's just sit in hero here for a second and roll those wrists. Okay, so now that we've gathered our breath, rolled out our one wrist, find our tabletop, and here we go, breathing up, stretching up to the sky, and threading the needle and hovering. Breathing into that. And on the inhale, coming up, stretching to the sky. On the exhale, folding through and hovering. And one more time, up to the sky and folding through and hovering. Perfect. Placing your hands on the mat and sending your sit bones back and up into your first down dog. Now let's walk this down dog out. Now let's get the hips into it. Look between your hands and step or hop to the top of your mat. And rolling your body up nice and slow. Rolling your shoulders back, mountain pose, Tadasana. On the inhale, coming up all the way. And on your exhale, sitting down into your Uttanasana, your chair. Belly is tucked and tailbone is tucked. Shoulders are away from ears. Breathing into this. Let's see on our exhale if we can go just a little bit further. Remember that belly is tucked and the bum and the tailbone is tucked. On your forward fold, let's flush that out. On your inhale, coming halfway up, hands can go on thighs, shoulders away from ears. And forward fold. Micro bend in the knees here. And let's roll that body up. Wonderful. Okay, so finding yourself in the middle of your mat, going into warrior two legs. So let's start with the left. So bringing my left foot in, aligning my heel with the arch, inhaling up, extending the arms out, shoulders go down, and bend. Now I'm sure you're wondering how we're going to hover in this position, but we are. So on your next inhale, let's bring the hands up, shoulders go down, and on the exhale, let's hover. You don't have to go too far. Making a nice line through your hand to your foot. Keep breathing, shoulders are stacked, we're not falling in. And coming up, and back into your warrior two arms. That wasn't that bad. And cartwheeling the hands down. Stepping back to your down dog. Sending the sit bones back towards the wall behind you. Heels are going towards the earth. Rolling forward into our first plank. Now I always have to adjust my stance here. So belly's nice and tight. So belly is going towards the spine. The tailbone is tucked. And we're not falling through the shoulders here. Breathe. Don't forget to breathe. And then let's go back into your down dog. Sending the heels towards the earth. And let's roll back into plank. Tucking the tailbone under. Spreading through the shoulders. Perfect. And into down dog. Walking your feet and your hands to the middle of the mat and rolling the body up. Nice and slow. And shoulders back. Perfect. So find yourself in wide angle stand again. So wide angle stand, I always like to remind people, our toes are not out. That's goddess. So right now in wide ankle stand, our toes are actually are parallel to the short end of the mat. So taking our our right, and turning it into Virabhadrasana, 2 feet. Just doing a quick check. I always do check. I've been doing yoga for a long time and I still do a check. Bending through that front knee, bringing the arms up and the shoulders down. And gaze over the middle finger. Belly is towards the spine and tailbone is tucked. And breathe. On your inhale, bringing your hands up. Shoulders go down. On your exhale, hover. Shoulders are stacked. We're not falling into that shoulder. Keep breathing. Belly's nice and tight here. And let's come back up. And changing the feet back into your wide angle stand. Putting your hands on your hips and folding at the hips in a forward fold. Yeah. Placing your hands on your mat. Your head is nice and heavy here. Your jaw is relaxed. Your eyes can be open or closed. I'm just going to make my stand just a little bit wider. Yeah. And there you go. Bringing your fingertips now so that they're in line with your toes. And coming back up. Hands on hips, bending in the knees and rolling. I'm going to come up a little bit more now. So side lunges. Hands at heart center today, not on the mat. And as we go from side to side, yeah, just gonna hover a little bit, yeah. The toes go up on the opposite side that you're bending. Nice. Let's do that a couple more times. Each time, try and get a little bit lower. Let's do it one more time on each side. And last one. There we go. Walking the feet in. Uttanasana power pose. So Uttanasana, chair. As we know, we sit down, our belly button goes towards our spine and our tailbone's nice and tight or tucked. Shoulders are away from ears. Now to make this power pose, we're going to hover over our thighs. Shoulders away from ears. Hover, hover, hover. Sit a little bit more. And then roll that forward. And walk back to your down dog. Settling the heels towards the earth. Pressing the mat away with your fingertips and your knuckles. Shoulders are away from ears. Rolling into plank. I have to adjust my stance. There. Belly's tucked. On your inhale, hovering with your right leg. Doesn't have to go far. We're not falling into the shoulders. Belly's nice and tight. And down. And hovering with your left leg. And down. Walking the hands to the back of the mat. And rolling up the spine. Nice and slow. This time bringing the hands all the way up to the sun. Gathering that energy and bringing it to heart center. Wonderful. So stepping to the top of our mat. Hello, Mr. Palm Tree. And we're inhaling here. Palms face each other, sitting back into Uttanasana. Transferring our weight onto our left foot. Coming up on our right foot and hovering. Stepping back with the right into warrior one. So warrior one. So in warrior one, the back toes are pointing like in a 45-degree angle. They're not parallel like Virabhadrasana to warrior two. Hips are squared to the short ends of the mat and just bending through that. Hands are going to come up. Shoulders come down. And I'm going to open up into goddess arms here. Really, really, really sending my chest out, my heart. Grab that energy. And as we grab that energy, we're going to bring our hands forward, connecting our elbows, our forearms, and our hands, and bending down and really cultivating that energy into the center. And then coming back up on your inhale, opening up the arms back to goddess, presenting the heart forward. Gaze can be up at the sky. And cultivating that energy here. Here we are, grabbing the energy, connecting the elbows, the forearms, and the hands, and bending down. Let's do that one more time on inhale. Coming back up into goddess arms. Continuing to bend through that front knee. And bringing all that energy into the center. While we're hovering here, we're going to extend our hands out into down dog lunge. Keep breathing through that left thigh and hip. Walking your hands back and stepping to the front of your mat and rolling the body up. And hands down to heart center. Settling the breath. settling the mind, rolling the shoulders back towards the earth. Ready? Here we go, second side. Inhale all the way up. Palms face each other. Sit down into Uttanasana, chair pose. Belly's tucked, tailbone is tucked. Transferring the weight onto the right foot here. Hovering with the left. Belly is nice and tight and hips are square. Stepping back with the left foot into warrior one. Hips are square with the short edge of your mat and bending through that front knee. Hands go up, shoulders go down. Open up into goddess arms and present that chest forward. Now let's gather all that energy and bring it into the center body. And fold into the knee. And coming back up with your inhale. Arms open into goddess. Keep bending through that front knee. Chest is open. And cultivating that energy as we bring it together. Elbows, hands, and forearms. Bending into the front knee. Coming up on the inhale. One more time. Opening up the arms to goddess. Heart center is forward. And gathering the hands, the energy, and folding into the front knee. Releasing the hands and walking out on a 45-degree angle into your down dog lunge. Walking the hand back and stepping forward, staying down for a breath, rolling the body up nice and slow, rolling the shoulders back. Okay, so finding yourself in the center of your mat sitting down. We're just going to do one final twist here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my left foot over towards my hip, my right hip, taking my right foot and crossing it over my knee. So my knees are almost stacked here. So on our inhale, we're going to stretch really high through the top of the body. On our exhale, we're going to twist. So we're going to take our left elbow and just bring it over to the side, to the right knee, and open up the heart with your breath. And breathe. And then coming back, untwisting the legs and doing it in the opposite direction. So our right foot is coming towards our left hip, bringing our left foot over the knee, and our knees are almost stacked here. On your inhale, we're extending through the top of the spine. On your exhale, we're twisting. Taking the right arm and hooking it onto the left. Gaze goes over the left shoulder. And then just untwisting. And now it's time for Shavasana. I'd like you to stay as long as you possibly can in your Shavasana today, rolling your shoulders back, palms are up to receive or down to release. At this time, though, I'll take this time to say Namaste. Thank you for practicing with me today. See you next time.